All right, let's do it live on a First Friday Miracle edition of Cleveland Browns Daily. I am Merely Bo. It's a great seat.
Hello. Good weather is coming the last week of May.
The next level is next.
Yeah. I tried to soft play Gibbe having us have the whole week of the last week of May off. I said, look at this.
Look at this. We should take it.
What are we going to do?
Tell you what, work every weekend from now till then.
Yeah.
Just stack shows.
Yeah.
Stack up shows.
So, Z, Saturday, I'm going to need you if you want to start building that up.
I think I got a pretty good reservoir, honestly.
Yeah,
to be honest with you, I got a pretty big reservoir.
No, I can't work on the
Lot
week.
to work with?
I think
Lot
I've
to
got
work with?
The rest of us are working.
I think I've got like 7 weeks.
You got a lot of time.
A lot of
time out there.
A lot of time. Yeah.
That is one. It's so far out that I don't even want to think about it. I just hope we have one good day this weekend. Is what I'm hoping for. Is it maybe Saturday is
one
doable?
fine day or one good day?
Yeah, one fine day.
One fine day.
Yeah, one fine day. Yeah, that's it.
That's all we're looking for.
By
By the way, I wore this because of our conversation yesterday. This is the one.
Oh,
it's the one that you bequeathed to me.
yeah. Look and it perfect.
Perfect fit. Yeah.
Isn't that something? And I am
It is. If something was a little big on you, I imagine it'd be appropriate on me.
No, but what I find what was odd to me is I have quite a bit of stuff from that particular manufacturer.
Boy, do you.
And there were that run of quarter zip just was fitting
The
wide
one
was
that's got
off.
that high neck, the like Kaikuya or whatever it is. That one I wear XL in. So some of their stuff.
Yeah. So but the Colorado one I'm L, and I think it's called Kukatu or something like that. I'm L. There you go.
Yeah. How the heck are you?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, we're caroming towards we got rookie minicamp tomorrow, which is fun, and then mandatory after that. And buddy, we're gonna blink, and you're gonna be staring down Memorial Day, pal. That's where we're headed. This is all going pretty quickly, and yet you're in a situation from a football perspective where it continues to be one of the more quiet off seasons from an NFL perspective. Like if you're doing Cleveland Browns college football daily,
Yep.
you got stuff for days. There's one thing after another in that. But in the NFL, it's been really, really quiet this whole offseason.
Yeah, it's been very quiet. You're right about that. So tomorrow, what is tomorrow? They report Gibbe? Because Friday's the first practice, right?
Correct. Players will start trickling in a little after 12 o'clock tomorrow.
All right.
Rookies have to be here by, I think, 5.
And I've heard on good authority, I think we're trying to put together a big old rookie mini camp so that we can play some football.
Well, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Play a little football. Hopefully we can be out there and
that's what I've heard.
Observe.
I need the weather to cooperate.
We need the weather
first
to
and foremost, because a field house would do us no good.
Have we figured out the technology? Do we have the
I think
capacity?
we have our best people on it.
We feel pretty.
We got our
good.
best people on it.
And we feel
I've got my best man on it.
Top men.
We know at least one of the night 2 picks, and maybe a few others will join us live on Friday, right off the field at 3 o'clock.
Oh, there you go.
The night 2 picks.
There you go. That's exciting.
There are 3 of them.
Oh, three. Yeah.
One of them who's very excitable, one of them who's very exciting, and one who is a weapon.
All wins.
All wins.
Either way, we win, buddy.
Yeah, lots of winning.
Do you? I want to run something by you guys. Do you know? Do you know what is going on with Brendan Sorsby? Does that name mean anything to you?
So he is a quarterback who got busted gambling and is in big trouble, and is considering entering the supplemental draft. And Todd McShay thinks we should take him with a first-round pick.
Okay, bold move out of Todd. So originally Indiana, then he went to Cincinnati. He's now at Texas Tech. He was the number 1 quarterback in the portal, probably him or Sam Levitt, maybe the Mensa kid who ended up at Miami. But he's certainly on the top list. And
my buddy Vince's high school, Mensa, who's at Duke, right?
He was at Duke.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant the Sorsby kid went to your buddy's
No,
Mensa did. Yeah, so
people are saying might be a first.
He was
pick.
at Tulane, and then he went to Duke, and now he went to Miami. Duke sued him for breach of contract.
Good.
They came up with a settlement, and now he's at Miami. Levitt was at Arizona State. Now he's at LSU. Yep. Sorsby had the choice between LSU and Texas Tech. Took Texas Tech. Sorsby was at Cincinnati last year. So what Sorsby did, and there are more than a few whispers that Cincinnati knew about a lot of this, so they could be in a spot here. But what he did is he bet a lot. He bet on sports. He bet on baseball. He bet often. He bet a little. He bet a lot. At some point when he was at Indiana, he bet on Indiana football while he was at Indiana.
To win, right?
Yeah, I think so. He'll never play a down of college football again. Do you, Mr. Zagura?
Just from pure ignorance standpoint, so like a college student who's 18 years old in the United States of America, are they not allowed to gamble? Do you have to be 21 to gamble or something? Is there?
No, I think it's 18, isn't it?
That's what I thought.
I don't know what the gambling age is.
Yeah,
it's
I
18.
think you're good.
Yeah. So
you're
what's
18.
are NCAA students
Yes,
not
you
permitted
can't-
to gamble
they are
on
not
anything?
allowed. They're not allowed. It is not anywhere in the vicinity as stringent as ours is.
Okay.
Not even in the vicinity. But
Like what's him betting on baseball? Like so what? College kids bet on stuff all the time.
Yeah, but I think you can't do it on any of it.
Got it.
I think
Okay.
that are their rules. I don't know that it's as strictly worded as ours is, but it is. But
Got
this now gets to my point. He's never going to play another second of college football. Like
Yep.
that's done. Do you think that the NFL would take him via the supplemental draft and welcome him in without some sort of penalty?
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah. They should.
Now that there's precedent. Now this isn't gambling, which we know how seriously the NFL takes gambling, which is to me led me thought that maybe the NFL would give a little pause to it. But there's precedent with Terrell Pryor, who was suspended off of trading his stuff for tattoos.
Yep.
And was suspended, I think, 4 games.
That's right. Dumb.
I think. Very, especially in looking what's
By the
going
NFL
on now.
when he came
by
to
the
the
NFL. Yeah, he was suspended by the NFL.
To me, that's apples and potatoes.
So you don't think the NFL would have a problem with the gambling stuff in his
No,
past?
now that you say that, actually I do. Now I do think they would because
Yeah.
But I don't do I think they should?
Yeah.
No.
Right.
This is done in college. This is not done in the pros. It's like if a guy, let me ask you this. And I don't even know if this has ever even happened. I would imagine it has to. Like, has a kid in college ever been busted for PEDs?
Oh, gosh. Brian Bosworth?
So, yes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so was Brian Bosworth then suspended upon entering the NFL for having done PEDs in college?
That's a great question. I don't know if those – he was a supplemental guy. He wasn't in the regular draft. I remember the Seahawks, he was a supplemental
I don't
guy.
remember him being suspended.
I have no recollection of it, if he was or not. And I don't know – that is something you so rarely even hear about anymore.
Yeah,
Like
and by the way,
PET,
how is that
PEDs?
possible?
I think because the PEDs it's gotten so good.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
I mean, you still get them you still get in the NFL quite a bit.
Yeah, you get clipped. Yeah. But no, you never hear about it anymore.
No.
I don't even know if they test for it.
So to me, that's the reason I brought that up. Is that's what it
that
like,
would be like an apples to apples
Yeah.
for you a little bit. Yeah, go ahead, Gibby.
So Bosworth was suspended in 1986 by the NCAA for testing positive for anabolic steroids. Consequently, he was barred from playing in the 87 Orange Bowl.
Okay, but he wasn't. I'm saying once he was drafted in the NFL, did he face discipline from doing that in college?
And then why was he then in the supplemental draft, I wonder, as opposed to the regular draft? He must have quit the team or something like that. The supplemental draft was different those days.
Bosworth publicly lashed out at the NCAA, famously wearing a shirt that read "National Communists Against Athletes."
I remember that.
The boss.
But then he ended up in the supplemental, right?
Working on that.
I'm pretty sure he did. I don't think that he was a normal draft pick. NFL draft. Bosworth planned his college coursework so that he could graduate a year early, which allowed him the option to NFL draft a year early. In addition, give him leverage over which team drafted him, knowing he could go back to Oklahoma if he did not get chosen by a preferred NFL team. Bosworth sent letters to various NFL teams stating that if they drafted him, he wouldn't report to their training camp and he wouldn't play for them. As a joke, the Tacoma Stars of the Major Indoor Soccer League selected him 12th round of the 87 draft, as their general manager stated, because we didn't receive a letter from him that he wouldn't play for us. Bosworth was interviewed by Brian Gumbel and declared his desire to play for the Los Angeles Raiders, saying it was his best fit for him personally. By getting dismissed from the football team after the Orange Bowl, so he got kicked off, he lost his leverage in trying to control where he would play. So then he just was in the normal draft. But he was going to try to control it.
Yeah, so he purposely manipulated his situation to avoid playing for certain NFL franchises. The Seahawks took the gamble on him, making him a first-round supplemental pick and signing him to what was then the richest rookie contract in NFL history.
So he
turned out and made out all right.
He did. He was since he was a junior, he was eligibly chosen in the draft, but he did not declare before the deadline. Decided to wait for the supplemental draft, which he was eligible for due to his graduation from Oklahoma 1 year early. So he did work it, and he got to the supplemental draft. Now I wonder who had the number 1 pick in the 1987 draft that he didn't want to play for, and he ended up in Seattle. And then he got hurt, and it was kind of all done. But, like, the supplemental draft, I mean, famously, of course, Bernie was a first-rounder in a supplemental draft. Steve Walsh.
Josh Gordon,
yep. A lot of quarterbacks used to do it. Bobby Humphrey was a good player from Alabama. He was it. Rob Moore. There's several first-round guys. Dave Brown with the quarterback who was with the G-Men.
The number 1 pick in the 1987 NFL draft was quarterback Vinny Testaverde by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Well, that wasn't going to change.
The number 2 pick in that draft was Cornelius Bennett by the Indianapolis Colts. That probably wouldn't have changed.
No.
The number 3 pick was Alonzo Highsmith from the U by the Houston Oilers.
Our guy.
Number 4 was Brent Fullwood, running back out of Auburn.
So Bosworth probably would have went to Houston.
Brent Fullwood actually had a pretty decent career.
I could see Bos going to Houston.
Then the Browns took Mike
he's a Texas
Junkin
guy.
from Duke.
Oh, that was – well, there's one other draft pick that might be the worst in Browns history from a first-round standpoint, but that was the number 1. That was the standard bearer for a long time.
This draft had just one Hall of Famer in the whole draft, 1987. And that was, with pick number 10, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Rod Woodson.
Oh, yeah.
Cornerback, Purdue.
He's slept on. People don't realize. People talk about a lot of the guys, but he was stunning.
Okay, I can't believe
he's an all-75 guy.
Oh, yeah. I can't believe this is real, by the way.
For the Ravens.
Do you know who was picked 12th overall that year by the Dallas Cowboys?
No.
He starred in one of my favorite movies ever, or he was a titular character in one of my favorite movies ever. Danny Noonan. Dallas Cowboys took Danny Noonan.
Oh, somebody named
defensive
Danny
tackle
Noonan
from Nebraska.
Be amazing.
Yeah.
He was the actual guy.
No, Danny Noonan. No, the real guy's is the guy who's in Roseanne, like Michael O'Keefe maybe or something like that.
He's in the guy's in Friends and Neighbors, I think, now too.
Is he?
I think so. Yeah. All right. So the last time a first-round pick was used in the supplemental draft was 1992. Dave Brown, quarterback, Duke. So it's been since 92 that somebody used a first-round pick on a supplemental draft. There has not been somebody picked in it. They've not used the supplemental draft since 2019.
Wow.
So
what year was who was that?
It was a 5th-round safety, Jalen Thompson. He was ineligible his senior season after NCAA rules violation. Last played player to be picked in the supplemental draft. That's the last one, 2019. Josh Gordon in 2012. Pryor in 2011. Josh was a 2nd-rounder, so and obviously very much worth that.
Yeah.
And the previous 2nd-rounder was 2003, so just something that
doesn't happen often.
Doesn't happen anymore.
So if he does do this, like, I haven't seen some of the way too early mocks.
Yeah.
Well, I have seen some of them. I don't remember him being like considered a top 10 pick.
No, he's not on that.
Do you want to hear from McShay on this, by the way? We have that.
Sure.
Yeah. Kev, you got it?
So here's where I am. He's more physically gifted than Arch. I trust Arch more. Throw out the pedigree. Make him Arch Smith. The character stuff, I trust Arch more. Sorsby's more gifted. If I'm the Browns, if we have the quarterback coach and we have the contract the right way, we have the psychologist putting a stamp on it, if we can get aligned, I think this guy's worth it. And if that's the case, I get to draft him. And I'm doing it with a first-round pick, whether it's late June or July, whenever this supplemental draft happens, if it happens. And I'm doing that because I think he's got a chance to be special.
He's such a – I've never heard anybody talk about him the way that McShay just did. So that's the jumping-off point. The second thing would be, like, that type of gamble on somebody in this type of trouble, no chance.
No way.
First round, you're giving up your 1?
Yeah.
I don't see it.
No, absolutely not.
I don't see it.
Absolutely not. Not a first.
No.
More talented than Arch Manning.
I haven't heard anybody talk about him like that. I know he was really coveted in the portal. He was one of those guys that was definitely in the mix, and had a really nice season. Statistically, he wasn't as good as Mensah was at Duke, but had a nice season at Cincinnati, and a lot of people really liked him. But like this is red flag the size of the Grand Canyon from an NFL perspective. I don't know that there's a bigger red flag in the NFL other than gambling.
This would be a one strike and you're gone in the NFL. Like you're not getting a say. Like if we get a sniff that you're doing something like this again, you're gone.
I think it's, to me, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, to me it feels like that the one transgression that the NFL takes most seriously is this.
Yes. All right, so just as an FYI, so I'm looking at Dane's 2027 mock draft from April 28th.
Okay.
So this is before any of this news would have come out, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Arch is the first quarterback, goes 1 to Arizona. Dante Moore is the second, goes 3 to the Browns. We're not picking third. Come on, Dane. Drew Mestamaker.
He was the North Texas quarterback. He's at Oklahoma State.
He goes to the Steelers. He's the third quarterback off the board at pick number 8.
Wow.
C.J. Carr from Notre Dame goes 15 to the Jets. He's the fourth quarterback off the board. Jaden
Maeva, he's at USC.
Is he related to The Rock? That's Maivia, though. How's he?
Maivia.
Yeah, maybe. Quarterback from USC goes to the Lions at pick 23. So that's 5 quarterbacks. And that's it. He does not have. Sorsby's not even in the first round if he were having a great season and eligible.
I'm not sure about that take. Because I haven't seen that type of talk around him.
No.
More talented. And then the red flags are massive. All right.
Can we speak of crazy takes that have red flags? And
Go.
I'm going to say something that pains me to say right now, but over with some of the antics and some of the things that have happened here in the last, I'll call it, few months, it's time for Ric Flair to back up off of social media, back out of the limelight, and just relax. And they've got it up here. Did you see this?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Ric Flair tweeted out yesterday, Luka, at Luka Doncic, please get in the game. Take a shot of cortisone and deal with the pain. They are paying you $50 million a year, and you're not there. WTF exclamation point. Hope Genie Bus trades you next year. Nobody wants a lame duck on their team. So you have to understand, Flair has said some things. I'll call on you 1 second. Flair has said a bunch of things in the last we'll call it month.
Okay.
That have gotten him in so much hot water, whether it be wrestling takes, whether it be performances at bars, whether it be
behaviorally. So the only thing I know about him is that one thing that says Flair, that Twitter account that I follow that's like a day of Flair or a Flair day or whatever. It's like him from the 80s running his mouth.
Great.
So I don't know anything about any of this stuff, but I'll take your word. He's
apologized. So he had just asked for, like literally within the last week, he had just asked for a clean slate. Like, everybody relax about all my crazy things that I'm saying and doing. Can I just have a clean slate going forward? And then after he asked for that, he comes out with this. Bo.
Mr. Zagura, why does he care?
I have no idea. My guess, maybe he lost some money gambling. So then he's like obviously getting raked across the coals for this. So he tweets 12 hours later, FYI, obviously they're not going to trade Luka. He's their future. He's their franchise. But do the math. He averages 33 points a game. If he has 20, LeBron has 27, and the rest of the team, he doesn't finish the math, they win. I would have said the same thing about Jason Tatum on the Celtics, but I'm not a Boston fan. For $46 million a year, I think you can play. Everyone is allowed to have their own opinion, and this is mine. He's hurt. I mean, he's hurt.
You think the guy doesn't want to play? He's in the prime of his career. Like, you think he doesn't want to play?
The Nature Boy.
How old's Nature Boy these days? He's got to be close to 80.
Yes, he is. And so he then put out a video of him saying no shortcuts, just sweat and discipline, showing up when it's hard, ready to work, of him like in super speed doing like rows and treadmills and all this stuff. And I love Ric Flair. I'm a huge Ric Flair fan, larger than life. Woo! The Nature Boy, all of it. I love everything about him. Limousine riding, jet flying, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, son of a gun, all of it. But like this comes back after 6 days ago. Okay, so this was 6 days ago.
Okay.
I have apologized and I have retracted statements. I have made assumptions that are incorrect. I acknowledge everything that I have said. Can we just wake up tomorrow and let Ric Flair be Ric Flair? I'm 77 with a heart condition. Nothing's ever guaranteed. Let's all be at peace. If you look at social media, people love to attack every celebrity online without using their real name. I'm Ric Flair. Take me for who I am. People know me, know how hard I've worked my entire life to achieve my level of success. That's not up for debate. Thank you for everything. Please let me wake up tomorrow and have my social media screen be only positives. I'm always going to be a cowboy. Woo. So he's asked. This is when he's asking for the
he
cleats
needs a
like
little
6 days
piece.
ago, and then he comes. He said it's all negative, and then he comes at Luka Doncic and basically calls him out and says, "Take a shot of cortisone and get out there."
Your father is around that age. Mine is that age. Okay.
Yeah.
Would you want? Like, I can just speak for myself.
Go ahead. I know what you're saying. No, I would not want him on social media saying what he thinks. Absolutely not.
God almighty, no.
No.
My father wouldn't know how it works. He would say the most reckless, absurd things that he'd be apologizing for every 10 seconds.
I'd love every minute of it.
I know you. Yeah. And then, like, he's worried about his mentions. Like, come on, man. Throw it away. Throw it away. So I did not see that. That is crazy. That is crazy. Like
Come on, man.
pretty wild to basically say, let's just all be positive and then be in the most, go do the most, and the next tweet is the
Less
most
than a
negative
week.
tweet ever.
Less than a week later.
Most negative tweet ever. Cavs lost last night.
It was great. I went to a bar that didn't have the game. So awesome. Got to listen to it on the radio driving home.
It's a crazy gamble the NBA is making with this stuff. The two streamers that work the worst for me are Peacock and Paramount. But the boys were into it, so we watched. And I'm watching this thing, and I don't have anything personal against the guy. I just have never liked the way that he's played. I don't like the way James Harden plays basketball. I don't like all, especially when he was Apex. And I understand how great he was and how skilled he was and all of it. But it's a tough watch, like begging for the fouls and all this stuff. I just have never liked the way he played.
Yeah.
And I'm watching last night. And I'm like, this is brutal to watch this team play. Brutal.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and then you find yourself like. Then it occurred to me, and it reminded me of the Lakers had won the three. As a kid, the team I loved the most. Your 49ers were your most beloved team. The Lakers were my most beloved team as a kid. The Magic Lakers, the Showtime Lakers, all of it. If they were on TV, I would watch. That continued through my early 20s and mid-20s. Like, if they were on, I watched. Never missed if they were on TNT ever. Always stayed up for it. And after the 3 straight titles with Shaq and Kobe, and it was starting to crumble a little bit around them, the Lakers added Karl Malone and Gary Payton.
Yep.
I hated Karl Malone through the 90s. I hated his game. I hated the way that he played. I hated his attitude. I hated everything.
The mailman.
Hated him. Hated Karl Malone. Hated the game. All of it. Some of those series against the Bulls where the final score is like 72-68. I mean, just gross. Gross basketball. Hated
You used to watch the Man Show when.
Of course. I don't think you could do that anymore. But
I don't think so at all.
But it was pretty good.
It's kind of amazing that
he did.
That it did it. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, now all of a sudden I'm in this position of having to root for somebody I can't stand.
Yeah.
And that's what it reminded me of last night.
Yeah.
Have you ever been in a situation of having to root for somebody you can't stand because they join your team?
So that's a good question. It's a fair question.
Yes.
And I'm trying
You
to
got
think. I mean, I guess Steve Young in high school.
But you still rooted for the Niners?
Like, I still wanted, when they were in the Super Bowl against the Chargers, I still wanted the Niners to win that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I definitely was like a Chiefs fan and would go to sports bars to be able to watch the Chiefs because that's what you had to do back then. Sunday Ticket wasn't available.
It wasn't on,
to the common man. And certainly, even if it wasn't going to be in my house.
Not under that yoke.
No. So that would probably be one. I'm trying to think if there's somebody that was on another team, though, that I hated and then came to my team. Now, I can't think of one off the top of my head.
There were some of those with the Cowboys and Niners, like Ken Norton.
Yeah, but I never
went
hated
the other
Ken
way.
Norton.
Yeah.
I certainly loved Dion.
Right.
And Charles Haley went
Bounced around.
back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never hated Ken Norton. Ken Norton was, when he came to the Niners, was great.
Yeah. Yeah, he was. Gibbe?
Didn't hate.
You did.
But I was not pleased, even though it worked out all right for the city.
I would say it did.
Yep.
You did get a banner.
That's right. We hung a banner, but I knew he was going to ditch us again, and he did.
He did, yeah.
Yes, he did, LeBron.
My experience with the LeBron return was kind of like you dated the most beautiful girl of your life. She broke up with you. You hate her the whole time she's gone, but the millisecond she says, maybe we should get back together, you're like, you're damn right we should. Because I went to his first game back here. I was at the game he returned, which I thought there was going to be physical harm done to him.
That's right.
The very first time. That was very uncomfortable.
It was.
And I was there the first game he played back. And when Ahmad
that was awesome.
That was the place went nuts.
If I recollect correctly, it was a coach's show, remote.
Buffalo Wild Wings in Fairview Park, the great Bob Senkar's place. Bob, shout out to you, my friend.
Who's a fine man.
Good man. Very good man.
And I think I came in there because I was going to the game from that.
Yeah.
Because it must have been like an 8 o'clock tip,
or
8:30 even.
100%.
It was an 8:30, so I was able to make it. And I remember I walked in like a Cavs jacket because I was going to be going to the Cavs game.
Yeah.
And they were like, "You got to go take that off. This is for the Browns right now."
Oh.
Not like
it wasn't Buffalo Wild Wings. It wasn't the Browns. It was.
I think it was the sponsor of the
sponsor of the show.
I can see that.
Yeah. So I was like, okay.
All right.
Oh, yeah, you have that right. I believe Joe Hayden joined us.
Yeah, he did, and he was
also
following me right down to the arena.
Boy, those are the good old days, man.
Yeah,
Hayden on site.
Hayden on site.
Jeez.
How about
how
about it?
He's an example for it. I don't know that anybody hated Joe Hayden in Cleveland, but all of a sudden he's a Steeler.
Yep.
You know, I mean, the one that you've probably had to. I mean, we've had it go the other way.
It's
like
leaving.
We've had to watch like Ozzie go be the best GM of the NFL for 25 years. Lona, they threw a pig head on the pitch. The fans did.
Jeez,
like that type of vitriol.
That seems pretty significant.
So you get some of that over there with all the transfers and stuff where you have the hate, but it's pretty rare. That you're in that spot. And again, I don't hate James Harden personally. I don't even know him. It seems like he's had a great life and probably a cool dude. I just don't like how he plays basketball. Yeah. And I'm watching this stuff last night just going, this is awful. This is awful to watch.
I told the G-Man and Dr. J earlier, I said, I am so perplexed that for 5 months out of the year, you get one version.
Yeah.
And then the moment we go to the playoffs, and I'm not saying that you didn't see some of this in the regular season, but for the most part, it's an awful fun ride. And then it just switches. It's the wrong light switch.
It's tough. It's a tough watch. And they lost. I never thought they were going to win that game last night. And then the reality is they lost it, and they didn't even have to deal with like Cade being at his best.
So I haven't watched much of him. I know that he's their star. I was not all that impressed by him, and I'm sure that I'm wrong about that as it plays out, but they didn't really seem to me like Tobias Harris is their clear number 2 who has a wonderful irrational confidence about him.
He does, yeah, and has for a long time.
Duncan Robinson's a nice shooter. The big guy, unless it is he can catch it and dunk it with no one around him, has zero offensive game.
Right.
At all.
Yep.
I mean, when he tried to move, it was painful to watch. Thompson, I like, athletic, long, seems like a very good defender, had that nice chase down block. But they don't seem like the most talented team in the world. In fact, I'm kind of surprised they're the 1 seed. They're a good team.
I think Cade's really good at getting his
Cade's
teammates
really good,
involved and upping their game, which we don't currently have.
Is Cade kind of a...
He's like Paulo. I mean, they're about the same size. They're both, like when those two went head-to-head, there was a couple.
Yeah,
there was one
45,
game 45. Like he plays a lot like him.
So he's not really, it doesn't seem, I think, again, I have not watched much.
Yeah.
This is my one. It feels like he's almost kind of a throwback, mid-rangey.
It does feel like, like a little bit of an old man game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not the shooter Paulo is.
No.
He's
not quite as big, is he? Is he 6'11"?
I don't know if he's quite as big, but I think he's 6'10", 6'8", 9. I don't know, somewhere in that. Yeah.
Paulo, big man.
I just, I don't understand why Donovan Mitchell can't play.
He looks hurt to me.
He can't get around anybody.
I think he's hurt. I don't think there's any
Well,
question.
I mean, that would back up my – I look at last night down the stretch, and Cunningham comes into the game and right away has a couple assists. Donovan Mitchell's on the bench. Like, Donovan Mitchell played like 35 minutes. Like, you're my star, dude.
No, I'm telling you.
I need you for 40 to 45
He's
here.
clearly hurt.
Yeah, I think that's right.
He's
So,
clearly
I mean,
hurt.
that might
Yeah.
be the case then.
Yeah. And then you just have to say, is this just they just have a franchise that had all of the luck that you could have for 20 years? Maybe they're just not having good luck. I mean, Garland couldn't stay healthy in the postseason. I mean, it clearly looks like Mitchell. I mean, there's no way Donovan. He wasn't. There's 5 minutes to go and it's a 2-point game. He's not even in the game at that point. So I mean, I think he's clearly hurt.
I agree.
Rest in peace, Ted Turner.
Man, that's a big one. That's a big one.
I became aware of him first as a kid because there was a time that he was the largest landowner in the state of Montana.
Yeah.
And then and
He had
still
the restaurant
owns.
for a while.
So then he became up until 2011 or 12, he was the largest landowner in the United States. Anytime any massive piece of land would come up, he would buy it. And he was buying up all these legacy ranches in Montana, these 100,000-acre ranches. He was buying them all up and bought a ton of them. And then what he did, and he did this in southwestern Montana, is he brought bison back to
Right. He had the bison restaurant. Yeah.
well,
100%.
why do you think that happened? He had too many damn bison.
Yeah. So he's like, I got to get rid of him somehow.
I gotta start selling some bison. So that leads to Ted's Montana Grill.
Yeah,
And
I remember it's called Montana.
Yeah, Ted's Montana Grill. And then the other thing is where I grew up, if you wanted to watch professional baseball, there were two choices. And it was the Chicago Cubs on WGN,
Yep.
and it was the Atlanta Braves on TBS. And he and they were so far ahead of the curve on understanding what sports programming was about to legitimize a television network by putting the Braves on TBS. That flipped everything. Number one, it made them for a time, and I mean, you grew up, you guys had baseball in your town, so you liked your teams. I get it. But for the most of the country that didn't, and certainly for all of the South, the Atlanta Braves are the Dallas Cowboys.
I was just going to say America's team.
America's team.
For a big – if you had cable TV –
It was Braves or Cubs, and
was it.
every
Yep.
Braves game was on
That was it.
with Skip Carey and all of that, and you would have they were the only team in the southeastern part of the United States for most of like our youth. There were no Florida Marlins, Tampa Bay Rays. There was nothing. It was they had the whole thing, and it would go all the way up to like D.C.
Yep.
because there were no Washington Nationals. Like they had the whole East Coast, and then everywhere else. The amount of friends of mine who were Braves fans growing up, I had buddies loved Dale Murphy, all that stuff. It was all from Turner. It was all from TBS, and it was all that he had the foresight to put the baseball on TV.
And he also had the genius of the 05 start.
Yeah,
Every show was
8:05, 9:05.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so if
he
you
did.
if you watched the one before, you're stuck here, and now you're missing
you're
the
in.
beginning somewhere else. You're just stuck on TBS.
You're stuck there. Yeah, you're right. Everything was 7:05, 8:05, 9:05. Yeah, that's right. He did all of that. Brilliant. But way ahead of his time.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
And then, of course, in the 90s, they did get the one World Series. But like, how many times did they take him and Jane Fonda in the front row? There is.
Jane Fonda.
I found it to be. I think it's a really interesting movie. The Scorsese movie, The Aviator, with DiCaprio about Howard Hughes. There is a movie about his life that is dying to be made. He also was in the America's Cup.
Yeah.
Ted Turner was.
Yeah.
He was a sailor. Launched all these cable channels. All of it. Like all of the starlets, all of the stuff. Like just a massive life. Massive life.
It's
and an
pretty
Ohioan.
cool.
Native Ohioan, born in Cincinnati.
It's pretty cool.
we all can't be perfect.
So yeah, there you go.
Ted Turner. That's a massive one.
That's a consequential American,
It's a
brother.
massive-
100%.
That's a big time American.
I mean, think of TV.
Yeah.
Your modern TV.
CNN, TNT, Turner, all of that stuff that he did. Yeah, just a massive life. Massive. Those are your hot topics today, presented by University Hospitals, official healthcare partner of your Cleveland Browns. We'll take a look at a few of the undrafted rookie minicamp guys to watch. Among other things, coming up next, you'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily. We're presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly. Gibby with a great point in the break. We're talking about Ted Turner and the Braves and America's team and all that stuff. We forget Wrigley
didn't get lights till August 8th of 1988.
Yeah.
So they had primetime every
To
night
themselves.
for Braves baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, when you came home at night, you wanted to watch a sporting event.
Yeah.
You had Braves baseball.
It was
as
on.
an option.
Did you guys have what was like the Indians television coverage at that point? Could you watch every game if you wanted to?
It was WUAB, so it was 43, channel 43.
And was every game on TV?
Not every game, no.
Yeah.
No, I don't know how many. I don't remember how many games, but
yeah, like because the regional sports thing didn't happen until much, much later.
Correct. Like Sports Channel Ohio was like the early 90s. That's
right.
when you could get every Indians game because they were sold out. It's the only way you could.
The only way you could watch.
Yeah.
How about you, Bay Area? Could you watch every A's game?
Oh, yeah, A's and Giants.
So they were both on TV every night.
Oh, yeah.
As a kid.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
100%. We could get every Warriors game.
Do you remember what channel they were on? Was it local?
It was
TV?
local, yeah.
So one of the local television stations picked it up?
Yeah. I want to say that what he was, UAB or UPN or whatever was back then. I don't even remember what it was back then.
Well, hell, I mean, you had two baseball teams.
Yeah.
Basketball.
Giants were always on. I feel like Giants were on Channel 2 a lot.
Yeah.
Which was that was the Fox station there.
As a kid, were they the glamour team?
Yes, but they were as I was growing up. But by the time that I was 9, 86, the A's had Canseco was Rookie of the Year. 87, McGuire's Rookie of the Year. 88, Walt Weiss is Rookie of the Year. You have the All-Star game in 87, and McGuire had 49 homers that year. Then you go to the World Series 88, 89, 90, and then they were the team.
Oh yeah, they were,
and they beat the Giants obviously in 89 in the earthquake,
right?
Bay Bridge World Series,
right? Yeah, I mean they were the coolest team in baseball in that stretch. They definitely
Ricky
were.
Henderson, Dave Henderson, Canseco, McGuire, Tony Phillips, Walt
Carney
Weiss,
Lansford.
Carney Lansford, Steinbach, Dave
Gallego.
Stewart, Bob Welch. Gallego was a utility guy.
Dave Parker, DH.
Dave Parker, DH. Yeah, they had
That squad.
Dennis Eckersley.
Yeah, he was so good.
He was so good. Don't even do it.
I didn't. I'm not doing anything. I'm not
Your
doing anything.
smile.
It's
That
nothing.
smile.
What do I do?
Smile. What did
I do? I didn't say anything.
You don't
Nothing.
Say anything.
You
I didn't say anything at
you
all.
don't
Nothing to say
Here, let's
here.
go to the next topic.
Let's go to the next topic.
What do you have for us here, G-Man?
Young Gabriel.
There you go. And you're in.
Hi, G-Man.
Hi, how are you guys?
Oh, we're doing all right.
So this is just I took Dane Brugler's The Beast, obviously, which we love bigly, and I pulled the profiles of some of the undrafted free agents that we will reportedly be bringing in for rookie minicamp this weekend.
I'll tell you what. T.J. Harden's a pretty good player at SMU.
Him
He's a
and
pretty
Kevin
good player at
Jennings in the
SMU.
backfield. Your ponies.
My beloved ponies. Yeah, he's a nice player.
6 foot 218, 4'5", 40. So a bigger back. You know, you think that he'd somebody that may could compete with Rocket Sanders for kind of that bigger back, that third back role. Because Quinshon and Dylan Sampson are number one. While the other side's Davin Booth from Mississippi State, who has a lot of home run ability. I've seen some highlights of his. 5'9", 192, ran a 4.4 40, and was obviously a pretty productive player in the SEC, which is always
Always
a
matters,
good
yeah.
thing. So in case people were wondering, I'll pull up for the people real quickly. So T.J. Harden, I am human. Mm-hmm. Promise you I'm human.
I tweeted that this morning. I'm sick of it.
Why are they the only ones who are doing it? Why
It's
is
literally just them.
Why is Pro Football Reference and College Football Reference so concerned with non-humans going? I feel like this is such there are no bells and whistles.
Who's coming to?
There's no bells and
Who's
whistles on this
infiltrating
website.
you?
Right, nobody.
Are they worried about Grok
You just
building
want
a
data, man.
You want
football
data.
database empire?
All right, so T.J. Harden, I'll do first. Started his career at UCLA, so was a teammate of Carson Schwessinger's. And then last year, SMU ran for 787 yards and 9 touchdowns, 4.6 yards a carry. Not much of a pass catcher, 19 for 99 and a touchdown. His best year running was his sophomore year at UCLA in 2023. Ran for 827 yards, 5.3 a carry, and 8 touchdowns. So bigger back. And then the other back
I got Booth.
You got Booth?
If
Okay.
you want it.
Yep.
So at Mississippi State last year, ran for 553, 4.1. Previous season at Mississippi State, 759, 5 carry. Started his career at Utah State before moving on to Mississippi State. Not much in the receiving game. Not a lot of opportunity, though, either. 15 catches, 165 on that. He is a 5'10", 205 back, so size-wise, smaller.
I will say in the SEC, though, to have over 2 seasons, 28 catches for 329 yards, so over 11 yards a catch and 6 touchdowns on 28 catches feels pretty good.
Yeah, I always do the thing if you play in one of these conferences, how did you do in your most high leverage game? So they played a close game against Florida at Mississippi State. This was a game in Gainesville in the Swamp. They lost 23-21. He had 22 carries for 105, 2 touchdowns in that game. And then the following week, they're at home against Texas. This is the game when Arch elevates. Yep. And everyone's like, oh, he's got it. He's a Manning. They lose 45-38 in overtime at home, but he ran it 24 times for 99, and then he had another 3 for 85 and a touch receiving, including a 62-yard touchdown against Texas in that game.
Yeah.
So there's some home run hit ability.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Some home run ability.
I'm trying to remember what TJ did in their high leverage games last year at the best. It's funny, like, all of the rest of these sites, like, you try to find this stuff and it can be pretty hard. The ESPN site just remains the best for this stuff. Like, I can get there right away.
Yep.
So they lose an early game. Yeah, he started out gangbusters. He had 115 on 19 carries in a double overtime loss to Baylor early in the season. Later in the season, in terms of big games that they played, pretty quiet. He had a 130-yarder against BC, but that was kind of a blowout game. They really didn't play that many ranked teams last year. Oh, they played Miami, and Miami shuttered him. They won that game, but it was Jennings had a great game. He was 8 for 27 and then 2 for 15 out of the backfield on that. So,
all right, and we got a wide receiver, Aaron Anderson.
Yeah, Aaron Anderson's an interesting one. He was the 4th ranked wide receiver in the 2022 class, which put him 1 spot ahead of Ted McMillan.
Really?
Yes.
In recruiting rankings, he was the 4th?
Yeah.
Yep.
Really?
Number 1 recruit in all of Louisiana. Number 35 recruit nationally.
Wow.
Major offers rolled in sophomore season, Georgia, Texas, UNC. LSU offered during the playoffs. He committed to his dream school. He's from down there. He's from Algiers, Louisiana, New Orleans neighborhood on the west bank of the Mississippi. Brian Kelly continued to recruit him, but Anderson signed with the Tide. He was a 5th-ranked recruit in Saban's 2022 class behind Isaiah Bond. He was the receiver behind him. Battle of knee injury freshman year in Alabama, played 1 game, then went back to LSU, 3 years with the Tigers, opted out of the bowl game, and went back. So this is Anderson at LSU. His best season would have been 2024. He had 61 catches, 884 yards, and 5 touchdowns, which was looking like he was probably on his way to doing something. And then last year, as a junior, just 33 for 398 and no touchdowns. But, I mean,
it fits like that type of pedigree. You know, if you have the physical traits to be that well regarded.
Yeah, small, 5'8", 198, so a small receiver, but obviously was somebody that they liked. This is a guy who in high school ran a 10.7 in the 100-meter dash and a 22.7 in the 200. 7 seconds on the 60 indoor, so it was a good track runner. Interesting, but wouldn't say that it necessarily worked out for him bigly. As you said, looking at the best games of his career, he had. It was really all from that 24 season is when he played his best football. But he had in that year he had 3 for 126 and a touchdown against Texas A&M, 7 for 72 and a touchdown against Vanderbilt. He had 5 for 96 against South Carolina, 5 for 64 and a touchdown against USC, and then in the bowl game against Baylor, he had 8 for 100. Not much against Oklahoma, just 1 for 6. Not much against Alabama, 3 for 27. 3 for 81 and a touchdown as well against Ole Miss in that junior year for Aaron Anderson. And then they got another receiver,
Cole Wilson. I have him.
Cole Wilson.
Yeah, from Baylor. Another smaller guy, 5'9", 171. So you said Anderson, 5-star kid. This is the opposite of that. Starts at I'm not even sure what UIW is. Then ends
That's
up
Incarnate Word.
Okay, very good.
With Cam Ward, maybe.
Then he goes to Texas State for 2 years, and then finishes at Baylor last year. 44 for 591, 5 touchdowns, but totally different in terms of how they got to this spot, and yet here they both are. Last year at Baylor, high leverage game. He did have a high leverage game against Utah. They got bombed 55-28, but he had 4 for 87. It was actually his second best game of the year. His best game was in his very first game at Baylor. He had 8 catches for 134 and a 57-yarder as a long against Auburn in the opener. So those are, to me, that I'm interested. How did you do against great competition? Not always a harbinger of things to come, but sometimes.
So he also led And this is where maybe he has a shot because Casey Concepcion's a punt returner. At Baylor, he had 30 kick returns for 705 yards. That led FBS, 705 kick return yards. He averaged 23.5 a kick return that year for his career, 25.8 yards per kick return, and had 1 kick return touchdown. He's not a punt returner, though, but he is a strict kick returner.
Yeah, same thing with Aaron Anderson. I think we brushed over it, but Aaron Anderson only returned 3 kicks in 2024. One of them he returned for a touchdown, and he had 152 total kick return yards. So,
how did he do? He didn't get, and he got no chances this last year. So
Correct.
That's interesting. This guy is a kick returner though, Cole Wilson, and according to his combine measurement, Bo, even smaller, 5'7", 177, runs a 4.4 5.40. Then you got a couple of offensive tackles, Isavion Miller from Auburn, Carson Bruno from TCU. Some edge rushers, Logan Fano, brother of Spencer.
Really?
Yeah. Out of Utah, was on that same Utah team.
Oh, that's cool.
4.5 sacks last year, second team all Big 12, 6'5", 260.
He's had a lot of issues physically. Lost 2
Yep.
seasons to knees.
Yep. Right knee, then left knee. But last year, so he's going to get an
That's cool.
opportunity. Yeah, get an opportunity there. This is what Dane says overall. Fano has decent burst and play strength, but effort when channeled correctly is his best quality versus both the pass and the run. Not a first-round prospect like his younger brother. He has talent worth developing, so I imagine he'll get a very long look. And then the Browns also, Tyreek Sapp, 6'2", 273, an edge from Florida. He was a 4-star recruit and was the number 15 defensive lineman in the 2021 class. His high school teammate was Dallas Turner, who was number 2 in that class.
Yep.
In 2023, he had 4.5 tackles for loss, 2 sacks. 2024, 13 tackles for loss and 7 sacks. Last year, he had 3.5 tackles for loss and just 1 sack. 3-year starter at Florida is what Dane says. Not a pass rushing technician, but somebody who certainly works hard, but saw his production dip in his senior year.
Corday Sidner,
Yeah.
also in the mix, another edge. This one out of Vanderbilt, 6'4", 264. Started out at Purdue, then a couple of seasons at Vandy. Was a team captain on a Vanderbilt team that surprised a lot of people and was really close to being a playoff team this year. And so there you go. Overall, Sidner more disrupted than productive, but he offers interesting NFL traits in length and athleticism. Those traits were highlighted during his pro day that opened eyes among NFL scouts.
We got a defensive tackle, Bernard Gooden, started his career at Wake Forest, went to South Florida, then to LSU last year, where he had 2 sacks, 4 tackles for loss. Year before that, 10 tackles for loss at South Florida, 6 foot, 280 pounds. So a big guy. Ends up at LSU. So, again, they're looking for guys who found their ways to some pretty big schools there.
Michael Coates, quarterback out of West Virginia, one of those 6-year guys, 3 years at East Central Community College, then Nevada for 2, then West Virginia last year, led the team in passes defense. Overall, Coates lacks size with more noticeable versus NFL talent, but he's instinctual, twitchy athlete, the toughness to compete for a nickel role once in an NFL camp.
So 21 PDs and 4 picks over the last 2 years, 4.40, but just 5'9", but was the 37th cornerback in the class, according to Dane Brugler.
A couple other ones, DeCarlos Nicholson out of USC.
I like this kid. I like the size of him. I don't know if he's good, but I like the fact that he's got some size here. DeCarlos Nicholson, 6'3", folks, 6'3", 200 pounds. That we need some size out there.
Yeah.
Started at Mississippi State, so was a good recruit there. Ends his career at USC, 1 interception, and he had on his career 1 pick, 12 passes defensed. But a bigger corner. We need size in that room, so I'd give him certainly an opportunity to maybe do something there. And then we got Zion Washington as a safety out of Boise State. He's been around since 2021, whole time with Boise State. Couple of sacks. He's got a pick. Some passes defensed. 6'2", 204. Runs a 4.39 40. So that's that's athletic. And then
That's humming.
That's humming. And then a punter, Westfall, which sounds like Paul Westfall, but he's just Westfall.
Santa Clara?
Oklahoma State.
No, Paul Westfall.
Oh, Paul Westfall
Or
was
Pepperdine.
Wasn't he?
He's one of those WCC teams.
Wasn't he Loyola with Kimball and Gathers?
No,
Or is
that's
that
Paul
Westhead?
Westhead.
That's Westhead.
Westhead. He was the coach of the Lakers, who Magic ran, and then went to Loyola Marymount.
Man,
Paul Westphal was the coach of the Suns when Charles Barkley was there, and then ended up back in college at either Pepperdine or Santa Clara or something like that. And I want to say that was where he went to school.
He was a nice player in the league as well, Paul Westphal. Hold on, I'm pulling it up. Hold, please. From Torrance, California.
Yep.
Passed away at the age of 70 in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Oh,
in
geez.
2021, January 2nd, 2021. High school was aviation in Redondo Beach. Went to USC. He was the 10th overall pick in the 1972 NBA draft by the Boston Celtics. Playing career was Celtics, Suns, Sonics, Knicks, Suns. Coaching Southwestern Baptist Bible, then Grand Canyon. Then was a Suns assistant, then the Suns head coach, then Sonics, then back to Pepperdine. Go ahead and take a bow. Then back to the Dallas Mavericks as an assistant. Then was the head coach of the Sacramento Kings again in 2009.
Wow.
And then was an assistant with the Nets from 14 to 16. He
no
was a
recollection.
5-time NBA All-Star, was a 3-time All-NBA first team, and had an All-NBA second team in there as well. So from 77 to 81, he was quite good.
That is a complete dark ages of NBA history for me. I have no.
Same.
I know that Magic won it as a rookie in '79 with the Lakers, and Bird was obviously going at that time. But I have no idea.
So he averaged, Paul Westphal as a player, he won an NBA title with the Celtics 73-74. Then he goes to the Suns, and this is when he starts becoming an all-star. Averages 20.5, 21, 25.2, leads the league in 77-78, 24 a game in 78, 22 a game in 79-80. Career average 15.6 points per game. Career average 19.4 in all-star games, and he had 4-year stretch where he averaged 20 points a game in the playoffs as well.
He's a stud.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty much.
He's pretty legit. Second hour of the program coming up next. You'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily. We're presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly. Be part of the most passionate fan base of the NFL. Become a season ticket member today. Join us at Huntington Bank Field for all home games this year. Visit browns.com/tickets now. A little debate on a first Friday. Gibbe, the G-Man, and Dr. J want us to rank these guys all-time with two different caveats. All-time great at their peak. So at their peak of their powers. That's what we're doing, these receivers.
I was thinking both. If you rank them all-time and peak for peak.
We got into a discussion earlier today.
Go ahead. Step up to the mic, please. Go ahead and just talk right into that mic, Jason.
No, it's fine. I don't want to. I just like yelling.
He's new to radio.
From the back.
Jason, step up to
that. I walked in. Was it your friends that were having a debate? And they were saying that Randy Moss was the greatest wide receiver ahead of Jerry Rice.
Okay.
And I said, there might be something to that if you make the right argument.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Dr. J and the G-Man were aghast when I told them that. But I'm like, there might be a way that you can make that argument. So that's how this became this segment at 4:08 on a Wednesday.
I like it. Okay. Steve. Okay. All right. I think I've got a differentiator here that would make some sense. All right. So I think I know what you're going for in terms of at their best. Was there anybody better? And then longevity, all of it. Who's the best? So I think it would be beneficial for us to do all-time who's the best versus and then do peak.
I did both, yeah.
I did both too.
Okay.
But let's do all-time first.
Okay.
You want to go one or the bottom first?
No,
bottom. Go bottom
we
first.
We should build our way up.
Build our way up? All right. So how many do you have on here? You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6?
No.
Yeah, 6.
Yeah, 6.
All right.
Number 6.
No, we have 7.
It's 7, I think.
7. Number 7.
7.
Number 7.
Number 7.
Number 7. Who do you have at number 7 all time?
6, 7.
I got Steve Smith at number 7 all time.
Same. Steve Smith at number 7.
5-time Pro Bowl, 2-time first-team All-Pro. Led the league in receiving once. Only one double-digit touchdown season, but he led in 2005. He had 1,563 and 12 touchdowns. Won the Triple Crown that year. 103, 1563, and 12.
He won the Triple Crown? I didn't realize anybody won that. I didn't know he won that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, I have him at number 7 as well. Next!
Number 6.
Torrey Big Game Holt, 7-time Pro Bowler.
Same!
He had a
I
stretch.
had those two flipped.
He had a stretch where he went 1635, averaging 19.9 a catch in 2000, 1363, 1302, 1696, 1372, 1331, 1188, and 1189. From the age of 24 through 31, he had at least 1,100 yards, and from 24 to 29, he had at least 1,300 yards consecutively. Led the league in receiving twice during that span. Led the league in receiving catches once as well in 2003. Had 3 double-digit touchdown seasons. So to me, a little bit ahead of Steve Smith.
Yep, same. Next!
Number 5.
For me, that is going to be Antonio Brown.
Same.
Antonio.
How does this happen? Like I didn't even look at this list. We're making them on the fly.
I never looked at this list until just right now.
Till right now. Antonio Brown. Yeah.
7-time Pro Bowler, 4-time first-team All-Pro. Led the league in receiving twice. Led the league in touchdowns once. Led the league in receptions twice. But that stretch he had from 2013, he goes 110, 1499, and 8. 14 is 129, 1698, and 13. Then he goes 136.
Jeez.
1834 and 10. Doesn't win the Triple Crown that year. Only wins it in receptions, which is wild. 2016, 106, 1284, and 12. 2017, 101, 1533, and 9. And then 2018, 104, 1297, and 15. And then
Off a cliff.
off a cliff.
In a million ways.
1 game for the Patriots in 2019, 8 games for Tampa in 2020, 7 games for Tampa in 2021, and he walks off famously against the Jets. Never seen from him again, and
He's been a
he had
mess.
some troubles since.
Lots. Next.
Yes.
Number 4.
Julio for me.
Okay, so I went Larry Fitzgerald here.
It was close between those two.
So Larry Fitzgerald, 11-time Pro Bowler, 1-time All-Pro. Never led the league in receiving yards. Larry Fitzgerald. He twice led it in receptions, twice led it in receiving touchdowns. So I had him. You had Julio. Let's check the Julio numbers. Julio's a 2-time first-team All-Pro, twice led the league. Julio does not have the touchdown production, but Julio from 2014 through 2019, from a catch yardage standpoint, and yards per catch, blows Fitzgerald away.
He's a little younger than Fitz. 4 or 5 years, right?
104, 1593, 136 leads the league, 1871, 83, 1409, 88, 1444, 113 and 1677, and then 99 and 1394. Averaged 15 yards a catch for his career.
It's crazy.
So
weird with the touchdowns with him.
Weird with
Like
touchdowns. Kind of same like
happen.
Andre Johnson. Weird with the touchdowns. So
What did he end up career-wise touchdowns?
career. I'm on Fitz right now.
So
like
Fitz
Fitz never even had a 1,500-yard season. And
No, he did not. Fitzreich had like 2 massive runs, though. He had that run, really, his second year in 2005, all the way through like 11, where it's just he must have got hurt in
66 touchdowns is the answer.
to 121 for Fitz. Yeah, Fitz led the league in receiving twice.
Yards per game. Larry Fitzgerald 66.5. Julio Jones for a long time was the career leader in this.
Yeah, he was.
And that's 82.5, and that's with his last 30 games being nothing. When he left the Atlanta Falcons, Julio Jones left the Atlanta Falcons.
What age?
After 10 seasons in the league. He left Falcons at the age of 31.
Yeah, so this is what would be interesting is
He averaged 95.5 yards
crazy.
a game for 10 years in the National Football League.
Yeah, Fitz played 17 seasons.
Yeah, he was
Just
13.
massive.
What's his here? Do this. What was his 17-game average for his entire career? They have that. Are you on Pro Football Retina? It's right under his 13 year, where it says 17 years, and then right under it should say 17-game average.
Oh yeah.
right.
66.5.
So Julio was 94. This is for a 17-game average for his career. 94, 1403, 7 touchdowns, and 15 yards a catch.
Yeah, so Fitz per 17 was 93, 1131, and 8.
So one more touchdown, 300 yards less.
300 more yards less. But he played longer, and so you get some back down seasons at the end. That was the toughest one for me. Was those two at 3-4.
Agreed.
Was the toughest. All right, so we can go to 2.
All-time 2, Ranamos.
Ranamos.
Number 2.
Yeah, and then Jerry.
Ranamos, and then Jerry's number 1.
All right, now this is where I think this gets interesting, because now my peak side is very different. So, I mean, I think let's just get to the top of it. I think Randy's peak is the best anyone's ever been at playing receiver ever.
So I have Randy at number 1.
And then Jerry 2.
Jerry 2. So 3.
I went AB.
So 3, I put Julio because I just thought he was the most feared guy.
I went Julio 4, and I went into AB 3.
Okay, so I have Julio 3, AB 4. I have Fitz 5.
Mm-hmm. And then the other 2.
And then I have Holt, then Smith. But I think
Same.
if Smith won a Triple Crown, I feel like we got to.
I actually had Steve
peak.
over Holt in
Yeah.
the peak, but I had AB over Julio, and we both had Randy over Jerry as peak.
Mm-hmm.
Randy Moss was the most terrifying thing in the NFL when he was at his best.
So now this is going to be funny because Randy's best season. Randy leads the NFL in receiving touchdowns 5 times. Never leads it in catches. Never leads it in yards. His best season
had to be the Patriots season.
Would be he has 2. So he has 2003 with the Vikings. He goes 111, 16, 32, and 17.
Jeez,
Man.
Just wait. You have. I don't know how familiar you are with Jerry Rice, but it's going to get silly for a
Oh,
second.
I know the Jerry Rice.
And then New England at the age of 30, 98, 14, 93, and 23.
Before we get into the Rice stuff, you can make an argument Jerry Rice is the best football player ever.
Mm-hmm.
Forget, like, he's in the Lawrence Taylor best football player ever conversation.
And you have to understand, too, folks, this is like a completely different era.
Yeah.
Era adjusted. I mean, these numbers. He led the league in receiving, okay? In receiving 6 times.
Mm-hmm.
6 times. In 1995, 1995, he had 1,848 yards and 15 touchdowns. He had another season where he had 1,570 and 15. He had 1,078 and 22 in 12 games in 1987, the strike-shortened season. Then he goes 1,306 and 9, 1,483 and 17, 1,502 and 13, 1,206 and 14, 1,201 and 10, 1,503 and 15, 1,499 and 13, 1,848 and 15, and 1,254 and 8
crazy.
at the age. By the way, 1,848 and 15 is at the age of 33.
Yeah.
1,254 and 8 is at the age of 34. Then he has 1157 and 9 at the age of 36. Oh, wait. Then he has 83, 1139 and 9 at the age of 39 with the Raiders.
40-year-old year.
And then as a 40-year-old, 92, 12, 11, and 7 with the Raiders.
That's LeBron's season right now.
I mean,
That's what that is.
It's
As a 40-year-old man to do that, that's what LeBron did right now.
It is.
92 for 1,211 and 7.
It's outrageous. His 17-game average is 87, 1285, and 11. He averaged 14.8 yards a catch for
Over
his career.
20 years.
Over 20 years. 20 years. Yeah. I mean, peak of it, here's the thing, and this is why I put Julio over Antonio Brown, too, for peak of their powers. It's just the size factor. Like, Randy Moss, the combination of size and speed. The guy that really should have been on here that would have been more interesting is Calvin Johnson. Because you could have made a case for Calvin Johnson at the peak of his powers to be ahead of Jerry. But at the same time, what Jerry Rice did, like Calvin Johnson had 96, 16, 81, and 16 in his best season at the age of 26. And he's 6'5", 240.
Yeah, there's a physicality to it that was pretty remarkable.
I mean, Jerry Rice is...
Jerry Rice, I just said, I think you make an argument that he's the greatest football player ever. Regardless of, take the quarterback out of it, it's like it's him, Lawrence Taylor, Jim Brown. Like he's in that chat.
I think of the ultimate game, if you're on offense, if there's one starting offense, your three receivers are on the outsides, Calvin Johnson and Randy Moss, and you'll put Jerry Rice in the slot.
And look out.
Right?
Yeah, that's what I would think too.
Who's the tight end in that game? Gronk? Tony Gonzalez?
Those are the first two I thought of, but there's probably some guys we're not thinking of.
Ditka. I mean,
all right, Ross Tucker coming up next. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily. We're presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly. All right, welcome back in. Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly. To the hotline we go, and we welcome in our good buddy Ross Tucker. He is the host of the Ross Tucker Podcast, NFL analyst on CBS, and, of course, so much more, myfrontpagestory.com. We talk about this with Ross every year around this time, and he will get into that in just a second. Ross, thanks so much for taking the time. Let's start with just big picture and your thoughts on what the Cleveland Browns did in the 2026 NFL Draft.
Well, I thought it was phenomenal, probably like everybody else you talk to. It seems like 2 years in a row they've had really, really good drafts. I mean, I was thoroughly impressed by what they did last year. I mean, especially, to get Judkins in the second round and what he was able to do. Certainly Fannin in the third round. We know that Shador represented excellent value in the fifth round. Schlesinger is a rock star, as we know. Mason Graham looks like a good pick. So they crushed it last year. We know that. We don't know how they did this year because these guys haven't played yet. But on paper, man, it looks really good. And we still don't know if they have the answer at quarterback or if they ever will or any of those things. I grant you that. But if the Browns are good, this year, or certainly 27 or 28, this is what we're going to point to. This is what we're going to look back on. We're going to look and say, holy cow, man, the 25 and 26 draft, that's when the Browns turned it around and became a perennial playoff team. Now, again, the quarterback's always the big caveat. I get that. You got a new head coach. Maybe he's awesome. Maybe he's terrible. We'll find out. But it really does feel like the core of their roster and a large percentage of their starters over the next few years are going to be from these two drafts.
Yeah.
And for them to get the guys they got where they got him. I mean, Spencer Fano, they would have taken him at 6. They moved down, and whether he ends up being great or not, they got the offensive lineman they thought was the best in the draft, period. And then they get Concepcion. I'm convinced that Todd Monken looks at him and sees Zay Flowers, and that's why he took Concepcion. I really thought Denzel Boston would go in the first round. I wouldn't have been shocked if that's who the Eagles took. They get him. So you get basically 2 first-round caliber receivers, which, by the way, they needed in this draft. It's just super, super impressive. And then McNeil Warren, I still haven't found out, by the way, why he didn't go in the first round. I really thought, you guys know I do the Eagles preseason games.
Yeah.
I really thought that there was a chance that the Eagles would have taken either Denzel Boston or McNeil Warren at 23.
Yeah.
So for the Brownies to get him where they got him is really something.
Yeah, Ross, and I think, Andrew Berry said it. I think they would have been happy with Concepcion Boston or McNeil Warren at 24, and somehow they end up with all 3 of them. And so they kind of – one of those things where the draft – worked the way that they needed it to kind of accomplish all of these things. They were nimble, as you mentioned, moving back to get Fano and picking up a pick from next year and then coming back in for McNeil Warren. I wanted to ask you about Spencer Fano because starts out as a left tackle at Utah, then goes to right as an All-American and all of those things. There's a lot of talk about arm length and all these other things, and then you hear Andrew Berry say, and Todd Monken, look, he's our left tackle. When you look at him and what he can be, what do you see?
Well, first of all, I'm a big believer in letting a guy prove that he can't or can play a certain position. Meaning, I don't love when a team takes a guy that was really good at left tackle or whatever in college. They take him in the first round or high and then immediately move him. Now, that's worked out a lot. Zach Martin with the Cowboys and Sheriff with the Washington and all those things. But I prefer let them play themselves out of that position. Let them show that they can't play that position. The thing about Fano that I love is he can really play all five, and that's an incredibly valuable thing to have because you never know how it will shake out with DeJuan Jones or any of these other guys. And so Fano already showing he can play both sides and having that type of versatility creates a lot of additional value. But I wholeheartedly agree with having him at left tackle.
Yeah.
He's been awesome the last couple of years. He kind of reminds me of a former teammate of mine. I bet you nobody has said this name to you guys yet, but he kind of reminds me of Matt Light. Remember Matt Light?
Yeah.
Matt Light was a left tackle for the Patriots
Sure.
for over a decade, 01 till into the teens, protecting Tom Brady's blind side. Matt was 6'4", maybe, might have been 6'3.5". I don't think he had the longest arms, but he had really good feet. He had a really good low center of gravity, and he was a heck of a player. And I think when I watch Fano, that's kind of who he reminded me of a little bit.
Jeez. Your mouth to the football god's ears. I mean, you're talking about 3-time Pro Bowler, first-team All-Pro in 07, Matt Light, 3-time Super Bowl champion most especially. No, we haven't heard that one. That's cool. That's why we love you, buddy. There's things we haven't thought of that we get every once in a while. That's a good one there. In terms of big picture in the AFC North, obviously this draft class is a big part of what the Browns did. They were active as they could be in free agency. Obviously some money stuff in terms of salary cap that you got to be a little bit nimble around. But this is probably the biggest turnover we've ever had in the AFC North. New coach here, new coach in Baltimore and in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's still waiting out Rodgers. The Bengals, Ross, don't seem like the Bengals. They trade a first-round pick to get Dexter Lawrence. They kept their guys. How do you kind of handicap this division now that we're through free agency, through the draft?
Well, that's a great question because you used to feel pretty comfortable about where Pittsburgh was, where Baltimore was, and on some level where Cincinnati was. Cleveland, it felt like, was more of down. I think Cincinnati, it feels like it's now or never for this regime, and I think those guys know that, which is why they made the Dexter Lawrence trade. I mean, the 10th overall pick, you know, the reality is those guys looked at it and said, well, Dexter Lawrence is going to be better than whoever the 10th overall pick is, and maybe Dexter Lawrence won't play for us as long as the 10th overall pick, but guess what? We won't even be here next year if we don't make the playoffs and maybe win a playoff game or two this year. So that made a lot of sense to me, the Bengals being more aggressive. Remember this, people always act in their own personal self-interest in the NFL. And so that if it's job security for Cincinnati, that's why they're doing what they're doing. So I can see why there are people out there picking the Bengals to win the division because they have more continuity than Pittsburgh, who, you know, it sounds like they'll probably try to run it back with Rodgers, but even if they don't, are they like, where are they going to get somebody better than Rodgers? They're not. And so it feels to me like Pittsburgh's probably about a 9 or 10 win team at best. You know, I don't know that I feel like they're going to be better with McCarthy than they were with Tomlin. Baltimore's a kind of a wild card because it does feel like that one could go either way a little bit, you know, with the new head coach and Jesse Minter, who's very well regarded, but he's also a first-time head coach. So does he make a mistake or two that cost them a game or two? So I think if I had to peg it right now, I might take Cincinnati, you know, at 11 wins. I might peg Baltimore and Pittsburgh for more like 8 or 9 wins, maybe giving Baltimore 9 or 10 and Pittsburgh 8 or 9. And then Cleveland, you know, being almost entirely dependent on who's playing quarterback and how good they play.
Well done, sir, as always, and well done what you're working on. MyFrontPageStory.com. Tell our listeners a little bit about it.
Well, it's by far the best Mother's Day gift I've ever seen. Now, I'm a little bit biased because my buddy started the company, but he's a former writer. Picture this, guys. You either talk to one of their writers for 10 minutes while you're driving home from work, or you can go ahead and just fill out a quick email, tell them how great your mom is or how great your wife is. You can get your siblings involved or your kids involved. They write this unbelievable story. It looks like it's on the cover of the newspaper. It's framed. It's beautiful pictures. It's like on the cover of the Cleveland Plain Dealer, like pictures of you and the kids or you and your siblings if it's for your mom. The key, though, I've discovered this is the key. When she's opening it, to be able to say, I wanted to do something special for you, so I had a story written about you, that just sounds amazing. That sounds like the best gift anyone's ever given anybody. And then when she reads it, I'm just telling you, I've seen so many videos now. When she reads it and reads the quotes, like, we never thank her enough for all the little things she does. We wouldn't be where we are without her. Like, they cry pretty much every time. So she will cry happy tears. You will win. MyFrontPageStory.com. I would not steer you guys wrong. I'm a former Brown. I had a glorious 3.5 weeks in Berea. MyFrontPageStory.com.
You're the best, buddy. Appreciate you as always. We'll talk to you down the road.
Sounds great. See you guys.
All right, there he goes. Ross Tucker, the Ross Tucker Podcast, NFL analyst on CBS, and, of course, so much more. MyFrontPageStory.com for what he was talking about there. We'll go around the sports world coming up next. You'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily. We're presented by Bally Bet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly. And be part of one of the most passionate fan bases in the NFL. Become a season ticket member today and join us at Huntington Bank Field for all home games this year. Visit Browns.com/tickets now. Hello, Gibbe.
Hi. Some news as we start to go around the sports world here
Let's
on
go.
this final segment. Golden Tempo will not go to the Preakness. I'm sorry. Why can't you run?
So this is the argument. I'm with you. Like, it should be a prerequisite. You run the Derby, you run the Preakness.
That's right.
For, like, the good of the sport. So in this instance, it's hard to imagine any scenario where he would be successful again. His pace was very slow overall. The Derby is complete scattershot in terms of the unpredictability of it. And the reality is that he's worth more kind of unblemished as a Kentucky Derby winner. Like, if he'd gone to the Preakness and gotten bombed, the hit on that is bigger almost. Like, he doesn't gain – he would gain a lot if he won all three. But in terms of, like, the monetary gain of just winning the Preakness and not going on to the Belmont or winning one of them, it's not there as much as it is just winning the Kentucky Derby.
They're going to run the Belmont.
Oh, they're going to run the horse in the Belmont?
Oh, yeah.
Well, then that's even more stupid.
That's right. We're looking forward to pointing him toward the Belmont Stakes and are excited what lies ahead.
That sucks then.
Yeah.
That really sucks.
So,
I
like,
assumed that they were going to shut him down and send him to stud.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Then that sucks.
It's stupid. But it happened last year with Sovereignty, in 2022, and in 2021. And I'm just
stinks.
How many people are watching the Preakness now?
Nobody.
That's
and
right.
It sucks for the sport. Somebody said, I was listening to a podcast earlier this week about it, and they said that if Golden Tempo doesn't run in the Preakness, none of the horses in the Derby will run in the Preakness. So it'll be an entirely new field running in the Preakness. That's a pretty crazy decision to then sit this horse out and then put him in the Belmont.
Yeah.
They've talked about moving. Right now it is Derby first Saturday in May, 2 weeks Preakness, 3 weeks Belmont. They talked about making the Derby, leave it when it is, for Saturday in May, then making the Preakness like 4th of July, and then making the Belmont like into August so that there's plenty of rest in between.
Okay.
I don't know why horses are different now than they were for 100 years. I don't have any idea. Or why they need more load management now than they did then. I have no idea. But that's something people have talked about. But that's a bummer, man.
I got another thing for you.
Go right ahead.
We did not get to it earlier in the show, and I didn't even have it in the rundown. But we'll play the video right now.
Go ahead.
Cohen, the head coach for Jacksonville.
Liam Cohen.
So a couple weeks ago, the story comes out. Travis Hunter is the focus is going to be playing on defense.
Yep.
It was like on a Thursday
I
or
remember
Friday
this.
it dropped, and we're like, the focus is going to be that. Well, things have changed. Here's a video from the Jags.
All right.
Coach, how do you want to utilize him going forward? There's always reports now that he's only going to play one position. Do you see it that way, or is it changed by the day?
The plan has not changed at all. He's going to play both sides of the football just as we drafted him to do, and just as we have the same vision for him in terms of being able to give him those opportunities. Now, is it day by day in terms of what he looks like in his process of rehab? Absolutely. But the plan to play him on both sides of the ball as much as possible, that has absolutely stayed the same. It's stayed consistent. I think people look at naturally and see that Greg Newsome left and that there's a spot there that people are just plugging him into. Well, yeah, love for him to play as much as humanly possible on both sides of the ball.
All right.
When did that change?
So that, to me, looks like so I think that changed when Travis Hunter said, basically on social, who said this? That looked to me like a season ticket member.
Yep,
right?
Some kind of informal gathering.
So she looked like kind of maybe their version of Z. And so, because she was in like Jaguar pants and a teal top, like clearly team employee. So it's not like, so that's a setup.
100%.
That is, we really need to get you on the record saying that Travis is going to play both ways, because Travis is not very happy that somehow it leaked out that he's only going to play corner. That's the way I would read that. So they're in a bit of a pickle, though, there. Like, if he demands to, like, which I don't know that anyone can demand that, to play like equal snaps or anything like that. It just seems crazy. Like, at some point you have to do what's best for the organization with him.
Yeah.
So, and I've always thought, and I know that AB, like when we were talking about drafting him, and AB was so smooth about all that because it certainly made it seem like that. And here he had a deal set up for a while before. And I don't know if this was just posturing for the draft or not, or if he actually believed it. But I remember him saying that predominantly he'd be a receiver and then play a little corner. Conventionally, I always just thought of it, and it could have just been from the fact that his mentor was Deion Sanders. I always thought it was the other way, play him at corner full time and then having moonlight at receiver, 10 plays a game, put in there as gadget plays where he can go, take the top off the defense and stuff. So how they use him is going to be fascinating to justify what they gave up to get him.
Yeah, because if you go back to last year's draft, and you go back to this year's just a few weeks ago, they did not draft well.
No.
And they gave up a lot. I mean, they gave the 4 picks that we had as a result of the trade were Quinshon Judkins, Dylan Sampson, Mason Graham, and Casey Concepcion because we flipped one of the other picks.
Yeah, it's a good haul. He's got a lot to do to live up to that haul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure. There were a lot of outspoken national pundits that were not that were unimpressed with Jacksonville's draft.
Oh, yeah. No. Yeah, they were criticized roundly about it. And in order to justify what you just said on the give back, like they needed him to be an all-pro in some way. One way or another. Like,
yeah.
You're taking a corner 2 overall, you better be an all-pro at something. But, yeah, that to me was Travis doesn't like that this is out there. We really need you on the record.
Yeah, let's clean this up.
Let's clean up this mess a little bit.
Yeah. From Chris Vanini in The Athletic, College Football's Coaches Association calling for the college football playoff to, quote, maximize the number of teams, eliminate conference championship games, and complete the CFP by the second Monday in January. I believe you're on to this.
Yep.
What does maximize the number of teams mean, the G-Man wants to know. We've gone from 4 to 12. There was some discussion I saw about 24.
So 24 is Tony Petitti, the commissioner of the Big Ten. That's his big brainchild. I think it's stupid and a mess, and I think it minimizes the regular season, but I think it's going to happen because I think these football coaches are looking around and going, I can save my job if I'm a, quote, playoff team.
That's right.
And so if there's 24 of us that are playoff teams versus 16 or 12, then more of us get to keep our jobs. So it's entirely self-preservation is the motivation from the coaches that have now flipped onto Petitti's side. From the administrators, straight cash, homie, because now instead of 12 playoff teams, you have 24, which means what? More inventory, more games. So and Petitti's pushing this because if he goes to 24, he can reopen the negotiations with the television partners on playoff games that are now becoming inventory, and he can bring in his buddies at Fox into the equation. Right now they're not. They sit it out. It's all ESPN. ESPN farms it out to TNT, which is how backward all of this is. But it's also still an ESPN production. If it goes to 24, then they can open up and they can get Fox involved.
If it goes to 24, though, you've got to have more home games. You have to have on-campus games. Because, you can't ask your fan base to travel for 4 straight weeks.
I had Ryan Day on yesterday in Columbus, and he and I talked about this a little bit. And the reality is like what I laid out is what they're gonna do. And I've been laying this out for 5 years. But
that's right.
Week 1 is week 0. Ohio State-Michigan game is the Saturday before Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving Saturday is Army-Navy on its own. Do the Heisman that day too. Start the playoff the following Saturday, the first weekend of December. Play the first round, the second round, the third round in consecutive weeks. Take a break off for Christmas. Play the national semifinals on New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. National championship like January 8th or 9th. Get rid of the December signing period. Take the transfer portal, open it up after the season. Bingo, bango, fixed. That's it. That's all you got to do.
Seems pretty simple.
It's not hard.
No.
It's not hard. It's simple. To me, it should be 8. I think 16's too much. I think 12's too much. 24 is insanity.
30.
That's like 9-4, 8-4 Iowa. 7-5 Mississippi State in a playoff. Come on. Stop.
Yeah, because you're definitely not taking mid-majors.
No, they're gonna power it with SEC teams and Big Ten teams.
That's right.
Exactly what they're gonna do. All right, that'll do it for us, kids. Thanks for listening. Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Bally Bet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly.